All right, we're here for episode 51 of the Wrestling Roundtable podcast. And we need to be careful, or else somebody is going to come somebody in a black hoodie is going to come and stomp one of us out if we're not careful. With Dom, I'm Ryan, and Dominique LaRue, my friend. The Royal Rumble, we were talking about it before the show. The Royal Rumble, there was no build up, there was no fire behind it, and honestly, it kind of delivered. It was about as mediocre a show as I've seen in a long, long time.
Absolutely. It was every word you could think of that is associated with the word mediocre, mid, unexpiring, um, just something to watch on a Saturday night. Oh,
Yeah,
excuse me, Saturday afternoon.
yeah.
So, uh, I got after episode 50, I felt once we got in the Royal Rumble, I was like, I got to bring out the big guns. I got my smart glasses on, you know, I got my notes here. I wrote down, and obviously one of my notes in big bold letters is Judgment Day breakup soon,
Oh
and
boy.
all question.
Okay. It
I know,
it took 3 minutes for him to mention Judgment Day.
yeah,
Okay,
yeah,
this
yeah, it
must
did.
be a new record.
Because first off, we start off with the women's Royal Rumble, and guess who the freaking winner is? Liv freaking Morgan. Like, look, I'm so amped up. I'm knocking stuff down already. Uh, First off, let me say I'm not upset about Liv winning. Obviously, we should have known that that was possibly going to happen when she's come back from her injury, and they was already building her up before she had left with the injury. So that is not surprising. But the one surprise that surprises me, and it shouldn't even been a surprise, why does Triple H always go into a PLE and say, "Oh, it's gonna be full of surprises. It's gonna be epic. It's gonna be this. It's gonna be that."
A
Like
new
I'm like
era.
the new era. I am like Jonathan Coleman. Excuse me, Coachman. I'm like Jonathan Coachman. He said every time Triple H says something like that, it not only fumbles, but it's underwhelming. It is not no shape or form any of those words he loves to utter out. Brian, we were like at the end of the day, no matter what, going into a Royal Rumble, whether you're excited or not, whether you are looking forward to it or not, or just expecting surprises. Royal Rumble has always surprised you in some type of way, some shape or form. The only one surprise that we got out of the women's Royal Rumble was Brie Bella. That was a nice surprise. It's great to see Brie. It's always great to see the girls
Even
back together.
even though her music makes my skin crawl.
I, I was so like when she came out. Obviously, 25 to 30, you're expecting surprises. Like
Yeah.
that's the sweet spot. Like obviously, we want surprises earlier in the match too, but 25 and 30 for sure. So when we got to, I think she was, I can't even remember what number she was. I think she was 28 or 27, something in those between those numbers. I was like, oh man, wow. I think she was 29. Yeah, she was 29 or whatever. So I'm thinking the last one was going to be Paige. I was like, okay, they're finna do it. They're bringing Paige up. I'm looking forward to it. And lo and behold, it was a big disappointment. And not in a big disappointment because I'm not sitting here and I don't want nobody to get this misconstrued about me. I'm happy to see Tiffany. I was.
Yeah.
The fact that Tiffany came in at 30, and not only came in at 30, but the last three, after you've been building so Rika the way you was building her, And granted, she made it to the last three. She was about to eliminate Tiffany. But this is okay. This is the gripe number one. This is the blunder of number one of Royal Rumble. Who in the world signed off on Soul Rika thinking about attempting to do her Soul Snatcher outside of the ring? There's nowhere else to land once you do that move other than on the floor. She was going to do the Soul Snatcher. Obviously, that was a giveaway to like, oh, she's going to get eliminated. And then the way it finished, it was it was okay. And then Liv winning it, I'm like, oh yes, yes. And I was yeah, you already know what I'm saying yes for. I'm not even saying yes because she won
Yeah,
the Royal Rumble. She's the
right.
Royal Rumble winner. The way she got to get there, she eliminated one of her closest friends. Who was that? Raquel Rodriguez. What's her name? Big Sexy?
Big Mommy Cool, or yeah,
I-
just whatever kind of Kevin Nash
she-
cosplay she's doing. Yeah,
and the look on her face was utter shock. And Liv is smiling about it. So I'm like, oh, okay, we finna get some get back Monday night. We finna get an argument or something. No, there's no argument, no mention of it, no nothing. And then speaking of Monday night, right? Raquel has a title match guaranteed that Monday. Why? Why? I've seen so many TikTokers, like so many streamers talk about this. Why is she in the Royal Rumble when she has a guaranteed title match that following Monday night? You could have saved that spot for somebody else. But I think what it was is the fact that number one, they had Royal Rumble in Saudi Arabia. It's already impossible to even fly, to even get anywhere outside of the United States, and let alone in the United States as well. Number two, over in Saudi Arabia, they got to put on full gear, right?
mm-hmm.
Most of them girls in there were looking like Power Rangers. Okay. And number three, and I don't have no gripe with anybody that feels unsafe to go over there. That stadium was built in 20 days. Most stadiums are built months to years on end.
Yeah.
Who in their rabbit ASS mind is going to fly over there? I mean, I'm pretty sure Saudi Arabia broke the bank just to get them over there. I get it. But first of all, you ain't been using me for weeks on end. I'm weeks or months on end. I'm sitting in catering, eating and stuff. And now you want me to, hey, we're gonna need you for the Royal Rumble. I'm good. You got it. I'll just wait till y'all get back. Because I'm not gonna go fly over there, fly back. And then I come to find out the women had to pay for their gear. Like they had to
Yeah.
literally figure their gear out. It wasn't like a uh we're gonna, you know, slide you some money outside. Granted, they get paid anyway by WWE, but it's just the fact that like you got to come up with your stuff out of the blue. No, not even out of the blue. I'm sorry, but like you still got to come up with your gear on your own with your hard earned money, stuff that you're probably not even going to wear anymore until
To,
6 to 8 months on down in. So
yeah. Yeah. Well, you're kind of jumping all over the place here, but I really get what you're saying here. I think that Liv winning the Rumble, the way that it unfolded, it kind of made sense. You know, the way that it unfolded, it kind of made sense. Um, and we're certainly going to talk about that Monday Night Raw match because I definitely got some feelings about that.
right,
The match between her and Stephanie Vaquer. But getting back to the Rumble, um, the way that unfolded, it made sense. Okay. Not all of it made sense, don't get me wrong, but the way that Liv won it definitely made sense. And it
Yeah.
worked. And it really, like, I mean, it popped me. I'm not going to lie. It definitely, it definitely worked. But you're totally right. You could have had somebody else in that match. You could have, Raquel Rodriguez, she's a badass. Let's not get it twisted. That that's a bad woman, and she should be champion right now. But that's another gripe for later on in the podcast. Um, she should not have been in that match. She should not have been in that Royal Rumble.
Yeah.
And my pick to win it didn't even appear. I mean, is Bianca Belair dead?
No,
I mean,
no. I
what?
mean,
What? Where is she?
I, I don't know. I hope her finger isn't totally destroyed to the point where she can't even bend it. Like at this point, if she's not back, I'm just hoping like everything is okay.
Yeah,
Maybe they're just saving her for tomorrow night, where
yeah,
anything goes on night after Royal Rumble.
yeah,
Um, so hopefully she shows up tomorrow night. But like you said, our pick, because we both picked her. We was like, well,
yeah.
I see Bianca winning. It, that would have been a surprise. That
It
would
would,
have been
yeah,
one of the surprises. Even though we was expecting her to be back, it still would have been a surprise because it's Bianca. Her song hits, she comes out. We're excited. She's fully in gear, like fully in her Power Ranger gear or whatever. And like that would have been awesome. But it didn't happen. And it was like to be honest, it was a glorified PLE, like glorified, mainly going off his name is solely going off his name, Royal Rumble. Obviously we go in with our expectations and our like excitement for the
our
surprises.
hopes and our excitements, yeah.
Yeah, we did not get that, so it felt like a Saturday night main event all over again.
Jeez.
And did we not sit here and we were sitting here trying to predict who's going to have the most eliminations that night? And we was talking about our girl Lash Legend. And if anything, they did great for Royal Rumble. It was some bright spots of Royal Rumble. That was one of the bright spots. That's how you build up. That's how you build up talent. You don't just sit there and let them just be there. You give them a platform to not only perform, but also hopefully when you give them that opportunity, they run with it and just showcase what is potentially going to happen down the line.
Dude, Lash looked like an absolute star. I mean, she looked like an absolute star. The way that they had her, the way that they presented her the whole night, she looked like an absolute star. That was definitely a coming out party for her, and I'm glad for that because with her charisma, with her look, with her talent, she's got massive potential.
Oh, and her and Rhea that stare down their head. That's
Oof, ooh, ooh,
that's a potential.
that's money. That's money if they play it right.
And then because it's the Royal Rumble, so anything goes. Like friendships out of the window. Number
Yeah,
one, I don't know if you noticed this botch or not, but I don't think Alexa Bliss was supposed to get eliminated. The sheer look on her face when she failed, and then Charlotte's reaction. Granted, she might have been acting a little extra,
maybe.
but could have been extra because she knew she effed up. Like she wasn't supposed to. She was supposed to catch Alexa. Like I guess with the move they was doing, Charlotte posted big boot Nia Jax, eliminate her. And we see this all the time. Charlotte does this all the time. She big boots somebody. She's kind of dangling on the rope after she big boot them because her leg goes over the top rope and she's hanging. I'm thinking she was supposed to like bump the rope, and then Alexa like stumbling, and then she catches Alexa. But when she missed her arm, Alexa failed, and obviously she's eliminated. You know, they can't redo that. So
Right, right. No, you can't put that toothpaste back.
yeah, you can't put
Yeah,
two things back. So
yeah. No, Charlotte has always been a big fan of that kind of I think they call it the hang the cat spot, where she kind of gets twisted up into the ropes
yeah,
over on the outside.
yeah.
Um, she's always been a big fan of that spot, even in like regular type matches.
Mhm.
But yeah, that was probably a botch.
Yeah,
That was probably a botch. But yeah, I think that again, I think that the winner of the match makes sense if they use it to kind of be the implosion point of Judgment Day.
got it.
Trying not to get you heated here, but if they use it to be the implosion point of Judgment Day, I think it could really like be effective. Um, and I think I want to pivot towards that match on Monday night, and then
Okay.
we'll talk about the rest of the Royal Rumble. Talk about the rest of the show. Um, Raquel and Stephanie in a street fight. I felt like the match was kind of uninspired, to be honest with you. But they missed such a huge opportunity to put over Raquel Rodriguez as an absolute killer. They should have had her powerbomb Stephanie right through that table. That's the finish. But the way that they did it just like confused me because it's obviously pointing towards Liv versus Raquel at the Royal Rumble at a WrestleMania. Why not plant the seeds right then and there? And I think our listeners, our viewers know I've been a Stephanie Vaquer fan ever since she came up, ever since before she came up, in NXT when they signed her. I thought she was just an incredible talent. But there's no reason on Triple H's green earth that she should be a champion right now. They should have had Raquel go over, unless they're gonna do a cop out of a 3-way at WrestleMania, which would not surprise me, knowing how Triple H has been booking lately. Uh, you know, and to be fair, it could probably be a phenomenal match.
Mhm.
But is that the way to go storyline wise? Is that the best move to go storyline wise? I say no. But then again, I'm only a professional novelist. I'm not a wrestling booker.
And who's to say that Liv is going after Stephanie's title? I mean, yes, she held the title up in the middle of the ring, but she didn't make an official, you know, she didn't officially say who she want to
Well,
face.
why wouldn't she go after Stephanie? Why wouldn't she go after that title?
Well, Ryan, you know me. I try to find every possible way to implode Judgment Day, but then also I find every excuse in the book that they will make to keep Judgment Day around. And the number one reason why they would keep Judgment Day around if Liv goes after Jade and then Raquel somehow gets the title match that she wants. Oh, I don't want to break up our friendship. I love you so much as a friend. I'm gonna go after the undisputed title because I know I could. I mean, I could beat both of them, but I know I could beat Jade. And blah blah blah. Like, come on, man. Just give us what we want. Give us something where she screws a friend out of the title again to the point where Raquel just loses it, just crashes out on Liv, or give the title to Raquel and have her know that her best friend is coming after that title. Give us something. But the way we're going now. doesn't look great for the women's title, both titles, to be honest. Jade hasn't defended that title, which granted I'm okay with because we still don't have a definitive opponent for her anyway.
Right.
But Jade hasn't defended that title since she won it at Saturday's main event. And that was what, 2 months ago?
Yeah, that was December or November. I mean, it's been months. It's been several months ago.
It's been several months. Several months. And we haven't even seen her defend that title once. We've seen her come out and carry that title. We've seen her attack uh, Jordan Grace. And I love Jordan Grace. I like you think about Jordan Grace. I'm not even sitting here finna just go off on a tangent about her being terrible or anything like that. But she just got on the main roster. Who gets pushed that quick to fight for the title? Other than somebody we know that's LP. Is the women's division over SmackDown that terrible to the point where you shove the person that just freshly got signed directly into a title match or a potential title match with Jade Cargill?
To be fair, Jordan Grace is a former TNA champion.
Yeah,
But,
I totally understand.
but, Jade Cargill is a former AEW champion.
Yeah,
Neither one. I get what you're saying, though. I totally get what you're saying because it just doesn't.
Jordan
I
Grace
mean,
been
that.
on the and she didn't even win the NXT Women's title.
I know.
At least Jade she had won the women's tag team titles before she even got to the world title. I mean, undisputed title.
Well, we're definitely going to get a new Elimination Chamber predictions
Oh
here
yeah,
in the here in subsequent episodes
yeah.
because I think they would be absolutely insane if they had Liv Morgan go after anybody but Raquel or Stephanie,
No,
and that's not just because I want Judgment Day to break apart, but it makes the most sense.
I'm I'm gonna repeat what Roman said to CM Punk. It's not because that it's on Netflix. It's not because that you know we want Raquel to lose the title. I mean, we do and we don't, but it got to make sense. I just hate Judgment Day. I'm just you know I just need them to just do something to break that group up so we can move on with our lives.
I think your opinion has been well stated over the past
Well, we
51 episodes.
but to continue on with our show and not to get off course, the next match in at Royal Rumble, it it made sense, but then it didn't make sense to me because like we didn't get the farewell. I don't understand what's the point of okay, I get people's contracts, like people just want to go through the contract and not have to worry about the no um compete clause when they retire from a contract necessarily. But if AJ Styles told them, yeah, this is gonna be my last match because my contract is up in February, for him to, obviously go out on his sword like any other wrestler would when they're finna retire or quit and turn around and I, all the rumors are like, oh, he's gonna show up on AEW. Blah. I hope he don't. I hope he shows up on TNA. That's where he made his bread and butter. That's how he became AJ Styles. But our memories of retirement matches or whatever the case may be has always been WrestleMania. WrestleMania is the Super Bowl of professional wrestling in WWE. So you would think people would want to retire getting that one last WrestleMania match, right?
Well, I mean, you would think that two of the biggest stars of the past 30 years would want to go out at WrestleMania, but try telling that to John Cena, who went out on a random Saturday night main event in December in Washington, D.C. Um, AJ Styles, it kind of makes sense because he debuted in WWE at the Royal Rumble 10 years ago.
Yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense.
It makes sense, but we still don't like it.
No, no. And hearing stories about John Cena not getting to go to Boston because Boston didn't have the money is absurd to me.
Yeah,
It's absurd.
yeah.
And then the fact that John was like, I'm gonna hand it to you guys to pick my opponent and you know, just that you're John freaking Cena. You're the GOAT. You are the one, you the main reason why the lights were still on during those trying times of the PG era. So why wouldn't you choose yourself how you want your career to go out? But that's for another time, another place, another episode. Um, the match was great. Not even gonna lie.
that the match was phenomenal.
It was
Pun
brutal,
intended.
pun intended. It was phenomenal. It was brutal. It was aggressive, and like everything that you expect from a Gunther's match. And he did exactly what he said. He choke out AJ, another notch on his belt of career killer. Um, Before we move on to the next match, who is your prediction on the next person that he does retire?
Man, Lesnar.
Lesnar?
Lesnar at SummerSlam in Minneapolis.
I can see that. Uh, you know who I think it is?
Talk to me.
Rey Mysterio.
Nope, Dom needs to retire him. I
I,
will.
I, I,
I definitely stand behind that.
I know your feelings on that. I totally agree with that. I'm 1,000% behind your story that you want to have. It makes the absolute sense in the world. But for some odd reason, this is WWE we're talking about, Ryan. You know deep down inside, this TKO version of WWE, they're going to do exactly that notion. To get to Brock Lesnar, we still got a couple of hurdles to get over. So why not feed him up a nice little snack to get to Brock Lesnar? And let's face it, Rey Mysterio isn't Rey Mysterio anymore. He's not even that captivating to me anymore. The way he moves in the ring. Back in the day when Rey was hitting them ropes, he was quick on his feet.
Right. I
Now it's
mean,
like every time we see him, is he's on his back in pain or like getting disrespected.
I mean, to be fair, the man's knees are held together by duct tape, baling wire, and prayers.
The man almost took a whole year to get back from a leg injury that was, granted, it was serious, but it, it got to the point where people oh yeah, the Rey Mysterio still employed, like like that. So I see Rey Mysterio being his next victim. I don't see any of the big.
I can certainly buy it. Yeah, I don't
Yeah,
like it, but I'd buy it.
I mean, I really want the storyline that you and I discussed because it makes all the sense in the world. Shoot, we can do it right now. They can start next week. They can literally start next week, going into Elimination Chamber. Then after Elimination Chamber, go to WrestleMania, and boom, that's it. But you know, obviously they. So yes, I was about to go there. But speaking of destroying, Drew McIntyre destroying Sami Zayn in any glimpse of him ever getting close to the title match.
That was about as predictable as I don't know me waking
Right.
up in the morning.
So, what did I say? Like going into this match, Sammy's not winning this match. I don't care what
Yeah,
they say because
yeah.
this is Drew's first title match since winning that belt.
He shouldn't have won that match.
Yes, he should have. No, he should have. But like they need Drew to be champion because I mean, what do you go? Where do you go from like Sammy winning that title, other than going back to Cody getting the title by elimination chamber or whatever? They like if Sammy was to win that title, he's not getting a long title run, like whatsoever. A
Right.
month, that's it, leading up to elimination chamber, which is in 3 weeks. So
Yeah, yeah. No, you're absolutely right. I feel like that it never made sense. Boy, have I said that phrase a lot today. But it would never have made sense for Sammy to have a long run because it just. I think the only way that he would have like made sense for him to win would be just for him to go for that pop. Just go for the pop. Go for that moment that Triple H is kind of stuck on right now. But just for to go for that moment, go for that big, the big crowd cheer moment. But what do you do with it at that point? It doesn't, it doesn't make sense. Yeah, you put Sammy in the chamber match. That makes sense. But do you have him win it? No, I wouldn't.
so I mean, we're gonna get to this match anyway, but you know what really irks me is the fact that Drew got the title. You already told Cody that he doesn't get a title match against him ever as long as he's champion. He has it in a contract clause. So why? And I mean, why? This is pretty much on the level of Kendrick Lamar being petty with Drake. Why in God's green earth, after the match which you had with Sammy, you would insert yourself into the Royal Rumble match to Claymore Cody out of the ring? You don't have no gripe to be in that match. You have no reason other than to be petty and make sure Cody don't get the number one contender match from Royal Rumble. But like that just it irks me because of the fact that like why can't we just get away from this? Like Cody can't get a belt. All right, cool. But you keep inserting yourself in his business as far as like possibly maybe getting another title match, but you don't know because he got to go through other men, like other 29 other men to get to winning that Royal Rumble. He was not going to win that Royal Rumble. I don't care what nobody thinks. When Roman is literally declaring his entry, he doesn't show up to Raw, SmackDown, none of that. He shows up on the Pat McAfee show and just poo poo all over creative team. And I mean, it's not like he was just poo pooing like a Bret Hart rant. or a what's your boy that hate Hulk Hogan? Iron Sheik. It wasn't like an
Iron,
Iron Sheik rant. This is a certified like I am speaking nothing but facts. You have not done anything for 2 straight years. I gave you all the tools that you needed. You need me to take a pinfall to Brasserie. I done that. You do nothing with it. You want me to take a pinfall to um who was it? He lost to somebody else during this run they were going on. I mean, solo basically. Like that group. You do nothing with it. Finally they won the tag team titles, but like the way they was building solo, so, like the new tribal chief, blah 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 blah. Why hasn't Solo won the world title yet? You think about it? Like, why hasn't he even? It's the fact that you make him feud with Cody so much to the point where we knew he wasn't going to get that belt because of the way y'all was playing it out. He wasn't going to get that belt, and it was feeling like Super Cena all over again when Cena was going on that run with the belt, and like, I mean, he's beat everybody. Like, oh, we're gonna have him. Pretty much, we're gonna have him fight 2-on-1 for the title. Like what?
fight off the whole Nexus. Remember that?
Oh, okay. And I pray that John wasn't that petty, but if he was, that's crazy. Because
Yeah.
my guy, it was 8 people in that group, just about maybe five to 8 people in that group, and you're telling me that you can beat all of them by yourself? Granted, he got Edge and Ray and all them folks to help him back him up or whatever case may be, but like you were supposed to do like Roman does. Roman built everybody around him during that 5 year span. And look how their careers have went, besides Jimmy. But look how their careers have went. But speaking of Royal Rumble, and the men's wasn't no better than the women, to be honest. It had some highlights, but it had a lot of lowlights. And one particular low light that I know irked you was the fact that Jay Uso comes out, like in Jay Uso's form. And this ain't even got to do nothing with Jay Uso. It's just the fact that this man comes out. He's yeeting. We never see Brock Lesnar get eliminated until the fact that his feet touch the ground. Brock freaking Lesnar gets eliminated during a yeet session. And I'm not even pissed off about the fact that he got eliminated. I'm pissed off at the fact that how he got eliminated. Cody and LA Knight. Two people that have, I mean, Cody's the only one that really has gripe with Brock. But the fact that it took two of you when we literally had over freaking Femi in that match, the build up we would have got from him eliminating Brock Lesnar by himself. And the look on Brock Lesnar's face would have been perfect if he would have just, had that face that we were
Right.
envisioning to have. But you rather pick Cody and freaking LA Knight to eliminate Brock Lesnar. I was like, what in the freak is going on? And freak
Good
is being
catch.
nice. Yes, freak's
Very
been
very
nice.
good catch. Very good catch there. Yeah. No, that moment bothered me tremendously because Brock Lesnar, one of the biggest. Think what think how you want to of him personally, right? But he's
Right.
one of the biggest killers of the past 2 decades. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Um, the way that he went out of that match, when Jey Uso was doing his regular entrance at the Royal Rumble,
And that stadium wasn't small. It took. It took him just about 5 to 10 minutes to get in that ring.
And he did the running backs. What this?
Oh, we're gonna get to that, but like for Brock Lesnar to get eliminated like he did, and then the fact he was eating what's his name's chess moves, you know, uh Drogonoff.
Yeah.
He was hitting Brock's chest, and Brock just looked at him like, "If you don't get your little peon self off me, like this ain't even affecting me. This don't even you're tickling my chest at this point." Like, so my man is smacking Brock's chest, and Brock is just shaking it off. But you have Cody and LA Knight eliminated, and then we move on to okay. The highlight, the bright spot of that match.
Yeah. Yes. Let's talk about some bright spots before we go down that rabbit hole.
Okay, number one, um, Javon Evans.
Oh God, yes.
Fantastic, fantastic throughout the match. The way he was using his athleticism, Ricochet can only fathom doing it. And then the way he was taking bumps was amazing. Like, do you remember how Jacob was it Jacob threw him in the air or he caught him in the air or something?
Mm-hmm.
And
Threw him
Javon
in
just
the air and then hit him with the Samoan drop. That was a sick spot.
kicked him by. I don't think I remember Jacob even throwing someone that high and then catching them and doing it. But then outside of Evans, uh, wonderful moment, by the way. They had Evans, Trick, and Obafemi in the match. All of them looking at each other, former NXT people. But Obafemi, the way they built Obafemi, and it's about on the same trajectory as how they did Jacob, but the way you build Obafemi, they better they better get it right. I'm talking about do not change anything. Don't change the music. Don't change his strut. Don't change him as a person. Do not touch Obafemi. Leave him alone. Just tell him to go out there and just destroy somebody. That's it. He was going through people like a slice of bread,
Yeah.
right? And then we finally get that epic stare down between him and Brock. And then people come in trying to interfere. They knock him out, throw people out the ring, blah, blah, blah. Obviously, Brock got the upper hand on Obafemi, but
Yeah.
that is a match that I'm looking for the utmost excitement about because it's kind of on the same realm of like Omos and Brock, but Obafemi is way more athletic, way more quicker, and possibly maybe way more stronger. We don't know. Possibly, yeah, because he did what Alabama? The
Yeah. Through the shot put.
Yeah. So man, you got two freaking natures in the ring together. It is going to be a catastrophic event
All right.
in a good way.
Yes. No. No. It absolutely is. And that if they go the route of Brock Lesnar versus Obafemi at WrestleMania, match of the night, match of the whole weekend, that is going to be a war. But I've got one gripe that I need to get off my chest, and I think you know where I'm going with this.
Yeah.
Um, I've seen some comments from the IWC, of which both of us are members. We're podcasters in the IWC. But comments kind of talking trash about Obafemi's presentation, including the strut. Now, yes, the strut is a little goofy. I'm not going to lie, it's a little goofy. But somebody compared it to the Bushwhackers, to that stupid Bushwhackers dance. that that strut, okay, with his size, with his athleticism, with his presentation, with his look, that strut just says, I'm going to come into that ring and I'm going to kill everybody.
because it fits the music.
It does.
What like how many times have you said presentation is key? Interest music matters. Like when you hear that music hit and he comes out straight and you already know who he is, it's like I am about to destroy you. I am about to destroy you. Like you think it's goofy, but when I get that ring, you can see a whole different side of me. And like it's the same as Penta. Penta comes out doing a little
Yeah.
thing he does. Nobody gripes about that, right?
No.
Brock comes through the same entrance he's been doing for 20 plus years, just about. Nobody says nothing. The man did the entrance and rolled on his back because he did it and he slipped and failed and rolled on the back. Everybody had a ha 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 laughable moment. But like we knew Brock would go in there and destroy somebody. So for anybody in the IWC to sit there and talk about that strut, listen here. I'm going ahead and say this right here. I hope get my mic set up here so they can hear this. Go touch some grass. Okay. This man has been doing that strut since he got into NXT. Nobody said a word. Everybody loves this strut. This man is a two-time NXT champion. Okay. He could have been undefeated if they would have just they, I can't believe he let Ricky Saint beat him. It's ridiculous. Okay. But to get back to the IWC, this man struts fit his interest music. He is a killer. Did no okay. Anybody needs some evidence. Go to Monday Night Raw recently. This man came out and see what he did to a certified tag team. These are former tag team champions. It's supposed to be a tag team match. It ended up being a handicap match, and not even a handicap match where the two people were taking on one person and beating his tail. He was beating the War Raiders like they were New Day. Okay, he lifted 300 plus pound men up in the air like they was kids. A pop up power bomb where it looked like he basically assisted him to pop up. Like it wasn't like in some way you kind of gotta jump to assist the person picking you up. No,
Yep.
he literally picked the guy up and power bomb. So say what you must, get it off your chest. Everybody's entitled to an opinion, but your opinion sucks. Okay, Open Femi can continue to strut. If I swear to God, if next week he don't do that strip or they do something with this music, I'm literally going to write every adjective, every word possible to tell my displeasure in that godforsaken creative team. And they go get endless letters. I'm talking about every single day to the point where they probably have to block me or put me on like a ban or something. So I just need them not to touch Obafemi. I
Yeah.
repeat, do not affect Obafemi in no other way other than him destroying people. So
If they fumble him, I mean, he's young. He's like 28. He's like 27, 28 years old. He's young. If they fumble him, and I'm not just saying this because of the hoodie that I'm wearing today and my obvious love for the Crimson Tide and the fact that Obafemi, you know, participated and was a part of the Alabama track and field team. I'm not just saying that, but what I am saying is that this guy is a generational talent. And if they fumble him, if they again, I'm no wrestling booker. I'm only a 5-time, soon to be 5-time professional novelist. I kind of know what I'm doing as far as storytelling goes.
All I got to say is they better not. If Obafemi, that's all I got to say.
Yeah, yeah, they better not. They better
Like they've been
not.
effing Braun Breaker with this masked man crap.
Oh my God! Yeah, let's might as well let that cat out of the bag here.
Yeah,
Why?
so Ryan,
First of all, why do they keep going back to that trope? I don't understand it. But
yeah,
second of all, who do we think is behind this? Who do we want to be behind it, and who do we think is behind it?
obviously the obvious answer is Seth Rollins.
Yeah,
Now, if it isn't Seth Rollins, I still want my vision, no pun intended. I still want his vision of either Seth Rollins has been playing puppet master and either has his nails in Logan Paul to the point where Logan Paul is secretly being a double agent, or he has his paws in Logan Paul and Austin Theory to the point where like they are helping Self by infiltrating the vision and basically softening them up until he gets there. Or this is a total 180. There's a particular gentleman that I feel like people forget who used to work at WWE before he went over to AEW. During the pandemic era, who was with Austin Theory and Seth Rollins, who was married to one of the biggest superstars in WWE at this time. Rhea Ripley, if no one knows who I'm talking about. His name is Buddy Murphy.
yes,
If it's Buddy Murphy, that first of all that'll blow my mind because now you're bringing now you're bringing the Messiah aspect of it back around and having his cult or following back him up, and now he gets his revenge on Braun Breaker and Bronson Reed. But quite frankly, whoever it is, I'm sick of this trope of this
thank you.
black hooded masked person attacking. Like, bro, how many times we can count on our hands last year that they did uh basically a angle with it? We had Becky Lynch, Austin Theory, had another masked person obviously that interfered, but they never really brought that up.
Right,
Uh
Jacob. Don't forget him.
Jackie Fatu, can't forget that. And somebody else, but this trope of this black hooded guy, it needs to stop. Just cut the
It
lights
does.
off, everybody laying down, boom. Bronson Reed's on the ground. Or excuse me, Brian Breaker's on the ground, he gets rolled in the ring, blah blah blah. But like it's the word epic need to get out of Triple H's mouth, and the black hooded guy needs to stop.
Yeah, it
So
does. Yeah, it does. Yeah, it does. Well, there is speculation that it was actually Grayson Waller under the hood. They're not saying that it's going to be Grayson Waller. God, I hope not, because that's that guy's about as annoying. That guy's about as annoying as sack of hammers.
ain't he with
Um,
New?
I'm sorry.
Isn't he with New Day?
Yeah, ish. Yeah.
It's just the way it's
Um, I'm thinking it's going to be Seth. You know, but we don't know how his rehab is going with his shoulder injury. But obviously, he didn't make the trip. That's why they had him do the that's why they had Grayson do the spot. But I heard an interesting speculation,
okay.
and I don't think it's too far fetched.
Mhm.
Although I hope like hell it's not happening because I can't stand the guy. But I've heard speculation that it could be Jake Paul.
Hmm. Now that would be interesting. Um, because now you having both Paul brothers associated with WWE. Unfortunately, that would be terrible because I don't want that. But I mean, how fast do you heal up from a broken jaw? Though? Yes. I mean, obviously the jaw didn't have nothing to do with curb stomping somebody and throwing them in the ring, but at the same time,
Right.
like the only reason why Jake would make sense is because obviously his brother's in the division, and maybe his brother's trying to overtake the division for his own selfish reasons. But that's another celebrity coming in trying to be a wrestler. It's just like, okay, I get it. I mean, Logan is the exception to the rule, but come on, man. Like that's
Yeah.
can we just stick with the talent that we got and you focus on them and making them into stars instead of building people that's already has stardom with them just to get more followers and stuff? Come on, bro. If you actually listen to the people that pay for your product and watch your product instead of doing the complete opposite, probably would start producing some good shows.
Why would they want to do that? Why would they want to listen to their fans? Why would they want to listen to the people who actually pay for Netflix and for the ESPN app and for whatever, for the Peacock app?
AMC Plus and all this other crap. So,
Yeah.
yep, so yeah, it's
Yeah, yeah, and yeah. But, Roman Reigns won,
yep, yep,
as I think both of us figured he would.
yep,
I think Brandy even picked him.
yep. Well,
Or did she pick Tama
she
Tonga? Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, yeah. Okay,
Which
but
he wasn't even in the Royal Rumble, but
yeah. Well, before we move on to the last part of our podcast here, was there a point to having Gunther in the Royal Rumble?
no, like no. The only point was the fact that he can use that as an excuse, like, oh, the only reason why I lost to Roman was because I was still affected from my match with AJ Styles. And they could build on that as far as a storyline between them two. But that won't probably happen till later on down the line, later on down the year. So like why even do that? When he's supposed to be the career killer. He's supposed to be on this career killing momentum. So is he gonna kill Roman Reigns' career? No. Like, come on. What are we talking about here?
Yeah,
So why would he what now I will say this. You take Gunther out. I mean, obviously you gotta fill the spot with whoever, but who would you have rather it been that eliminate Roman Reigns? I mean, excuse me, that is in the final two between him and Roman rather than Gunther. I got one for you.
well, yeah. Star power wise, I think it definitely makes sense because you've already got the star power with that. But as far as like storyline wise, God, could that have been like a last minute pivot because they couldn't get Chris Jericho?
Possibly. But to be honest, I feel like my pick would have been Jey Uso. You have the two
Even
pillars.
though he was already in the match earlier and got eliminated.
Well, I mean, like, instead of getting eliminated, just make it all the way to the final two, just him and
Okay,
his
okay.
cousin. And so then you can still kind of, I guess, play that uh okay, Jay can't get over the hump again and start playing in his mind like he'll never get that world title again. Because he won it last year. So obviously he's still riding that high of like, oh, oh, I won it last year, I can win it again, or there's that possibility. But then his big cuz come and sons him like, hey, hey, I get that you won the title, bro. Kudos to you, but this is the big leagues. What you did was like AAA. This is the main show right here. You ain't finna eliminate me. So you know, which would have been a perfect spot if them two was the final two, right? And then Roman did that whole run it back, and then Jey Uso falls into that. Oh, you want it? And then he just get thrown out, right?
Yeah.
So then that's a trajectory of Jay maybe becoming heel from that. Like look at what your goofiness did. It cost you a opportunity to go back to WrestleMania and fight for the title. But what what
Yeah.
what do I know? I don't get to sit in a nice office and
Right.
talk about absurd storylines that they can go with that don't even make sense.
Yeah. I mean, I only live a I only live a quarter mile from. All right. So listen the night. Listen this podcast on a good point. The promo segment between Roman Reigns and CM Punk, when Roman Reigns called out CM Punk for the main event of WrestleMania, that was radioactive to me. That was absolute. That was a hot segment. That was one of the best promos of Roman Reigns' career. And even Punk was, the little smirk that Punk had was like, like he was impressed. That whole segment was just gold to me. And it makes so much sense because it's a personal animosity. I mean, I don't know how they feel about each other, behind the scenes, but it's a personal animosity. Roman has something that CM Punk has, and CM Punk don't want to give it to him. That's pro wrestling booking 101, and it worked. I think I think it worked beautifully.
Oh yes, masterclass. It gave me attitude era build up energy. It gave me Rock versus Rome, Rock, excuse me, Rock versus Stone Cold feels to it. I rewatched that promo at least about 3 to 4 times, and I even had the moment in my head of like, you could possibly play My Way as the theme to that builder, and they give you the same feel of a Stone Cold versus Rock at WrestleMania 17 because both men were basically speaking facts to each other, right?
Yeah,
But the fact of the matter is, I think Roman kind of shunned CM Punk. Like CM Punk speaking facts, but Roman basically took everything that CM Punk said, crumbled it up, put it in his mouth, and spit it right back at him.
hmm
Like, yeah, you had a long title reign. Yeah, you may feel like you done it better, but I done it better. I did everything that you didn't do, right? Like, yeah, I may have followed in your footsteps, but you basically taught me everything I needed to know to do it better than you. Yeah, you had a 484-day reign. I had a longer. You may have more title defenses than me, but my title defenses felt more of a main event type of feel. It felt like a big fight draw every time I came into the ring with that belt. Yours was just somewhat mediocre. Some was just like a handoff, like just to get you through the night or whatever. Um, you brought me into WWE. I stayed and grew and got better and became a main event draw and got Netflix deals and this and that. And then when it was your turn to come back, They came to me. Like, you basically left poo-pooed on my career to the point where I had to dig it out the mud. Like I had a harder time getting to where I am now because of you. But you have the audacity to sit here and say all that to me when I'm the one that brought you back. Like, man, that and then the fact that he brought up, not only did he just bring up, stuff in the ring, but they did a movie together.
Yeah,
Hey Bros. He brought that up. And he was like, some silly like that. I was like, yo, whoa. Not him poo-pooing on a kid's movie. And I didn't even see that part where he kind of like, Roman was kind of like, I'm not Roman, excuse me. CM Punk was kind of like trolling him behind his back with the title. So to sit here and, we was going through it and like them talking about, oh, I don't think the fans will want Cody versus Roman 3. You're absolutely right. Because we would have never thought that the build up to them two just off of one night was going to just shoot up in the stratosphere like it did. Like I don't even care about whatever else going on in WrestleMania. I'm looking forward to that match. And I'm
thank
I'm
you.
just looking forward to the build up to that match because it's going to get even better than that. The fact that I'm at CM Punk, you and I both can agree, and then everybody else in the IWC, CM Punk is one of the goats when it comes to being on that mic.
Absolutely. To this day, been one of the best in the game for 20 plus years.
6 years. And to see the growth of Roman from the big dog to the person he is now, and the fact that the matter is, it ain't even been growth. It's just the fact that they finally took the leash off of him, let him be him, and not follow some script or follow some vision that the old man had about him, and just let him be Joe. That's all Joe.
Yeah,
That wasn't even Roman. That person in that match, I mean, excuse me, that person in that ring that cut that promo, it was coming from Joe. It wasn't coming from Roman.
yes,
And to look at that promo and feel that emotion between them two, and just the overall emotion of Roman, it got me excited, and it makes me
yeah.
feel like Roman is going to win that belt. I don't care what anybody else says. We need it. The fans need it. WWE needs it. It needs Roman to be champion again.
It does. It does. Even though he's a part timer, even though he's rarely around, I feel like we need him back. We need him back at the top because I've said it before and I'll say it again. When when that man's music hits, when those drums come in, when his music hits, every eyeball in that stadium, every eyeball watching on TV, that man is magnetic as hell. He's got charisma for days. And that is a star. That is a star. And you got to use that. Now, to be fair, to be fair, he is right about one thing is that WWE has not done a good job yet of making younger stars. Okay? They
Mhm.
haven't done a good job yet of making younger stars. But you've got plenty of opportunity with guys like Javon Evans and Trick Williams and Obafemi, all these guys. But if you've got the Rock of our generation, if you've got the Hulk Hogan of our generation, if you've got one of like the Ric Flair of our generation, if you've got somebody of that caliber, if you've got somebody of that, of that brightness, you don't screw that up.
No, you can't. Like you can't. You
Oh no,
cannot.
no, you absolutely can, but you better not.
Well, I mean, yeah, you can't. Obviously, we've seen it
Yeah.
numerous times. But Roman Roman shows just his mere appearance. Like it makes the show that much different. And I can say that Roman is probably on Roman is on that level where it was Stone Cold and The Rock and like those type of guys where when they're off the show, you know it, you can feel it, you can see it. But when they own the show, when you know they're coming on the show, it's a different type of feel. It's a different type of energy. It's a different type of excitement about this show. And sure, CM Punk was carrying that belt and trying to, make it what it is, whatever the case may be. But let's face it. I mean, I still associate that title with Seth Rollins. Seth Rollins was the workhorse champion. Seth Rollins made that championship what it is. It went to Drew. Well, did he go to Drew? Yeah, it went to Drew. Then it went to Damien. Then it went to Gunther. Gunther did a great job with the title. Obviously went to Jay. Then it went back to Gunther. Then it went to Drew. CM Punk. Then it went to Rollins again. Then Rollins won to call himself getting hurt. And now it's back to CM Punk. But to sit here and I mean, obviously we knew where we were going. If Rollins would have never got hurt, possibly we could be getting Roman versus Seth part three, while we get a CM Punk versus Rollins, or some type of way they would have got Rollins and Roman and CM Punk in a triple threat match. But I am so glad, and I hate it for Seth. Don't get me wrong. I don't like injuries. I hate injuries. I wish him back healthy and ready to rock and roll. But his injury was kind of like a blessing in disguise because it shifted a lot of things. And I think it shifted things to where they got to get it right now. They got to get stuff making sense. Once they get this whole clutter of division out of the way, I think we will finally get better as far as Raw, I think, in their storylines outside of CM Punk and Roman. But we definitely got our number one certified bona fide main event for I'm calling it right now, night two.
Yeah, it needs to be night two.
No. Now we just gotta pivot and figure out wherever well all the pieces are in place as far as everybody else. So
Yeah, well, I personally think it's going to end up being Cody, Drew, and Jacob Fatu in the three way somehow. But we'll find out about that on Friday night.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, well, we've got the Elimination Chamber in 3 weeks. We've got WrestleMania coming up in the middle of April. Normally, I'd say this is my favorite time of the year to be a wrestling fan, but I don't know right now.
Still iffy.
Yeah, still iffy. Well, show me something, WWE. Show me something.
Ball is in y'all hands now. I mean, y'all. I mean, look how much excitement and generation, like not generation, excuse me, anticipation has now happened since that promo. They've been posting it all online. People have been liking it, this, that, and the third. So now you basically have to build your show around that main event because
You
now
do.
I mean, you can't fall flat on your face because you got a main event of that magnitude to build off of.
That's definitely something I'm looking forward to.
Me
That's
too.
definitely something I'm looking forward to. Well, same time next week.
Same time next week, my brother.
All
Hopefully,
right, my
I'll
friend.
be more excited for next week, as far as a particular storyline that I'm not going to crash out on about tonight. So
Well, you've only crashed out about it twice, so I appreciate your restraint.
I'm getting better because I mean, I start seeing cracks, so it makes me feel a little better knowing that it's on the horizon.
You're starting to see cracks before you start to crack again.
Oh yeah, because I mean, boy, it's getting close. It's getting
All right,
close.
yeah.
Seeing him last night with the IC title definitely didn't help my peace of mind. So
All right. Well, before we crash out again, it's been a great episode. Thank you so much for joining us. Thank you so much for watching and listening to the Wrestling Roundtable. You can follow us on YouTube, Apple Podcasts, and Spotify. Follow our Facebook page, and we're also now about to be on Instagram. So go follow us on Instagram as well. And we'll do it again next week. For Dominique LaRue, I'm Ryan Hall. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for listening. Until we eat again, take care.